We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Hey, listen, I'm the most brutal and ruthless fighter there's ever been. There's nobody that can match me. Gervonta Tank Davis might fight the Mike Tyson of Mexico, Isaac Cruz, after the Rolly fight officially gets terminated. We're gonna talk about that in this video. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Listen, I don't know how you found the video, but somehow, some way you made it. Please help others find the content by throwing a like on the video. Takes a couple seconds, it's quick, painless, easy, and it goes a long way to show others that this is the content that they too are looking for in the world of boxing. My name is Ego, I'm your host. This is your one-stop shop for all your boxing needs. Now, I made a video about it earlier, this is why you guys gotta follow for the latest and greatest. Gervonta Tank Davis's original opponent, Rolly Romero. The fight is now off. It's canceled. They did a press conference in LA. It was a good one too. They seem to have bad blood. Both fighters are with Mayweather Promotions. However, Tank Davis needs a new opponent because Rolly has some issues outside of boxing. And I believe the powers that be, Showtime, CBS, they heard the allegations being waged against Rolly. And if not, you can look them up on the internet to see what those are. And ultimately, they decided, or somebody decided, Rolly said he decided to withdraw, but I'm pretty sure this is coming from up top because most likely a fighter, that was going to be his biggest paycheck ever and an opportunity at a title, things like that, and he had bad blood with him, so most likely the fighter's not going to just excuse themselves, but he probably got word from execs or Steven Espinoza or something saying, hey, it's all bad. So, as a result, ESPN is reporting that the Mexican Mike Tyson, as they call him, Isaac Cruz, may step up to fight Tank Davis on pay-per-view in Los Angeles, California, to replace Rolly Romero. My thoughts, this is actually a great fight, and some people I've seen online, they said that they believe this is even better fight than the initial fight with Rolly. Now, the difference is Rolly is a personality, so he's been on social media and some people knew his name. He had been televised on co-features and things like that. So some people are not familiar with Isaac Cruz. So allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ego. Roll the clip.
Mike Tyson.
Woo! Mini Tyson, baby.
Uppercut. Hey, another mini Mike Tyson, known for his vicious uppercut.
Now you guys seen some snippets from Isaac Cruz. His nickname is the Pitbull, and some people even call him the Mexican Mike Tyson for obvious reasons. A bit shorter in stature, but he's real aggressive and he has that intensity and ferocity. He has power. He likes to throw combinations, etc. And you guys can see that from the clips that I just played. He's out of Mexico City, Mexico, and I think this is a good sub. First of all, we cannot blame Gervonta Tank Davis because somebody has potential legal problems that are above and beyond boxing. That's outside of the ring antics and behavior that have led to Rolly having to withdraw / being pulled from this fight. So I know old media, they like to do this, especially to African-American fighters or PBC fighters, where somehow, some way, this becomes a bash Tank session. Tank Davis, I've seen recent pictures of him. He's in shape right now. He wanted to fight Rolly, but Rolly can't make it for extracurricular reasons. And again, if you're not familiar with what those reasons are, then I advise you to look it up. You should be able to find it relatively easy. It's the internet. And at the end of the day, this is not Tank's fault. They can't be liable for what your opponent does. Like Danny Garcia, for example, he was scheduled to fight in maybe January, the week before Super Bowl, so the end of January, against Errol Spence Jr. However, Errol Spence Jr. made a mistake and he got in a horrific accident and we almost lost Errol Spence. But at the end of the day, we're glad that Errol Spence Jr. is okay from his horrific accident and he bounced back and he later fought Danny Garcia and beat him, which is very impressive. But the point I'm making is we can't blame Danny Garcia because your opponent made a decision or a choice that pushed the fight out. That's not, if Rolly goes and handles his situation, maybe they can fight in the future. I don't know. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I'm not familiar with the case outside of the obvious tweets and things that I've heard and read, but I'm not the court of law. We'll have to see how it plays out for Rolly. So I have to make that clear because I know how old media likes to play, and somehow, some way, they'll find a way to blame Tank. The other thing is Showtime. This is actually a great fight as a substitute fight. Things like the Rona, when people test positive, and injuries, and Uzcategui testing positive, these are all uncontrollable things for the opponent. The opponent can't control if somebody doesn't get vaccinated or gets vaccinated and still test positive, or if somebody else is using banned substances, these types of things. It doesn't fall on the opponent. But again, with certain fighters, you see old media move the goalpost and they try to somehow, some way revert the energy or the negativity or the disappointment back to the A-side fighter or the popular fighter, in this case, Gervonta Davis. In fact, I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to do just the opposite. I do think this is a good fight. This wasn't the intended fight. Some people would say, oh, Cruz, I think he's from 130. Tank came from 130. They may still be fighting at 135. I don't know because it hasn't been officially announced. This is sources in the industry that are suggesting that Isaac Cruz, and this has been kind of the rumor. And now with Rolly, you guys got to check my last video, but with Rolly now announcing he is withdrawn from the fight, this looks very likely. So the rumors look very likely. So like I said, I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to give a lot of praise to Gervonta Tank Davis because the style of Isaac Cruz, again, some people will even say that this is a more difficult fight. And yet and still, even though Rolly was the initial target and he's a knockout artist, he's a puncher, he's still fighting a puncher. And the interesting dynamic is Isaac Cruz may be the first person that I can think of that Tank will have fought that is probably shorter than him. I haven't done the box rec and looked it up, but from the eye test, it looks like Isaac Cruz, they call him the mini Mike Tyson because he's shorter in stature. This may be the first person that's smaller than Tank Davis with that type of style. Maybe Jesus Cuellar, I was at that fight, but I had to think back to see. I think they were pretty close in actual size. And I think Isaac Cruz is going to be smaller. So it'll be interesting to see how Tank will fare with not only a late replacement opponent, but also an opponent who may be shorter than him with a mad aggressive style. Isaac Cruz turned pro in 2015. He has one loss. He has never been stopped. That one loss was a year into his pro career. He lost in 2016. And again, he's called the Pit Bull, the baby Mike Tyson, the Mexican Mike Tyson, things like that. So I think it's a very solid replacement opponent, guy from Mexico. So it's in LA. LA is the home of the black and brown, So I think this will be as good as you're gonna get, because a lot of times, and I don't really have to call out a bunch of names, but a lot of times promoters have these things that come up and the fight just gets canceled altogether. I will say this name, Otto Vailin and Dillian White. People looking forward to that fight. That fight just got canceled, and we know why. I mean, they could say Dillian White was injured, but to me, I think there's more to it. I think they don't want to mess up that lottery ticket to Tyson Fury. if they think they have it. So they'd rather wait for the WBC convention that is coming up to see if they have a direct shot, a Willy Wonka gold ticket to Tyson Fury, and they don't want to chance it with Otto Wallin, so they concocted this shoulder injury. So boxing fans, there's been some disappointment. Uzcategui tested positive. Another fight that got canceled, like I mentioned, Dillian White and Otto Wallin. So I think I commend Showtime for putting their thinking caps on if they get this fight done, because I think it's a very good substitute opponent. And I've watched Isaac Cruz. Again, some people may not be familiar with the brand and the name. I've watched him. In fact, he fought on Tank. I believe it was the Gervonta Tank Davis and the Leo Santa Cruz fight. And he got a crazy knockout against Magdaleno, and he knocked him out in the first round. And Teofimo fought the same person, Diego Magdaleno, and he didn't even knock him out in the first round, even though Teofimo bodied him and knocked him out as well. Isaac Cruz like literally ran through him and blitzed him, and he didn't act like he knew what hit him. More recently, he fought on another card. I forgot what card that was on, but he fought against Francisco Vargas, a former champion, and he convincingly won. So this is very solid, and it's a testament to Tank Davis. He's down to fight, because again, they could pick someone you've never even heard of. This is at least a similar type of threat to Rolly Romero. Some people are like, oh, he has no chance, but some people say Rolly has no chance. So at least put him. If people are saying that Tank opponent has no chance, it's because they believe Tank's skill set is so high. So at least put him in there with an aggressive puncher who may be able to clip Tank, so we can see how he responds to it. Because, I mean, would you rather see him versus somebody who's a pure boxer with zero power, and then Tank doesn't respect the power? You know what I mean? I don't know. So I'll be happy if this is the announced and it looks like it's heading that direction. Let me know what you guys think. Tank Davis rumored to fight Pitbull, the Mexican Mike Tyson, Isaac Cruz. I'll keep you guys posted. Stay tuned for the latest and greatest, and I'll update you as soon as this becomes official or they announce what's going on with the Showtime pay-per-view. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off, and I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.